Okay. Thanks.
Perfect. And I will read this fantastic script before you even get going. So bear with me. Public participation guidelines. So members of the public wishing to participate in the meeting must use their full name for Zoom access. If full names are not used, people will not be allowed to participate in discussion. The town reserves a right to remove any member of the public from the meeting who doesn't use a full name or acts inappropriately. As a preliminary matter, this is Chantal Blaise Murphy, Executive Director of Culture and Tourism. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mary Malaves.
Here.
Matt Peel.
Here.
Liz Holland.
Here.
Peter Morrison.
Here.
And Josh Gray, we know, is not here. Sarah Boyce is also not here. And Sharon Quigley. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. David Sharp.
Here.
And Chantal Blaise Murphy here. And our anticipated speaker on the agenda, Tom Rafter, is not here, correct?
Correct. We do have the minutes from last week to, last month to approve.
Yes. Do you want me to do the remote meeting portion of it?
Yes, please.
We're following all the rules. All right. Good morning. This open meeting of the visit. I'm going to mess this up, so pardon me, guys. VSAC, keep it short, is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. I don't really think we're going to have any, but for this meeting, we're convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how public may join. Do you guys really read the entirety of this? Oh my goodness. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. We will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair or I yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. And finally, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. And thank you. I'm going to hand the floor to David.
Okay, thank you. The minutes from the April meeting, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, do I have, okay, so please vote, I'm sorry, let me, just tell me, I'm sorry, I don't have the script here on that. Josh usually does that. So I need a vote to approve the minutes from from May, pardon me. All in the affirmative, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
Okay, Liz, you're voting in affirmative? Okay, all four? Okay, thank you. No, any opposed? Obviously not. So we'll go ahead and skip over, we'll wait for Tom Rafter and want to introduce our new Director of Culture and Tourism, that being Chantal Blois Murphy, sorry. Go ahead, Chantal.
Good morning again, everyone. I feel like I know all of you at this point from floating around the island. Matt, we have never met. I look forward to hopefully meeting you soon. As mentioned, I'm Chantal Blois Murphy. I skipped and hopped over from the chamber not too long ago where I worked with Mary quite a bit, so it's nice to see you again. I don't have a whole lot to report. I'm now officially on day 7 in my role, so I finally finished all of the long training videos that come along with this role, and I feel like I'm just starting to get my feet wet. I will be hitting the pavement, going around introducing myself or reintroducing myself in this new role to our cultural partners, as well as just visiting a few businesses in town just to say hello and see how everything's going for the summer. So few things that Janet had been working on that have now trickled down to me. I believe she had reported on the Cultural District website last meeting that was supposed to launch around Memorial Day. That has been delayed until June 30th. We'll be sending out a press release on the 15th of June. And I just met with them yesterday, actually, just to talk about the delay, and fingers crossed there won't be another. And truly it was delayed simply because people just didn't submit the information that was required from our cultural partners. So we're reaching out to them personally, gathering the information personally, and manually adding them ourselves just to make sure that the calendar is actually populated when it does launch. And another great program that's coming down the pipeline that this office will be working on are the QR codes that will soon be popping up in a few windows and on a few posts throughout town. You can scan the QR codes and it takes you directly to the town's website where it'll have information about the plastic ban, which is why I could find it so quickly. And just little bits of information about what's going on with visitor services and the different town administrative offices, and have general blasts that the town would like to share with members of the community and visitors. It will be edited and updated weekly to keep it as up to date and accurate as possible. So funny enough, I was on that work group prior to stepping into this role. And I'm happy to now be here and be in the final stretches of it to see it come to fruition. That is all I have to report as of right now, and I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any for me. Awesome. So David, I did notice that Tom joined us.
Yes, Tom is joining us now. And Tom, if you're ready, please say hello and tell us how things are going for this year at the airport.
My apologies, I got busy with something else, but that's the way the summer's going so far here. Thank you for having me. Things are going very well here at the airport. Through May 31st, TSA screened departing passengers were up 2.5%. That's attributed mostly to the increased travel on Cape Air, and Southern Airways went year-round this year and is building a strong market through Providence, connecting with American Airways. So that's great news. This summer, we have still a great number of destinations. We lost one Chicago flight, but Cape Air is doing Boston, Hyannis, New Bedford. Southern's doing Hyannis. Southern is jumping into the Hyannis market because Cape Air has decreased that significantly due to the pilot shortage. So that's a good thing. JetBlue is still doing Boston, Kennedy, White Plains, LaGuardia, and DCA. American's doing DCA, Philadelphia, Charlotte, and Chicago. And United's doing Newark and Dulles, and Delta, JFK, and LaGuardia. So when I just came back from a national conference, and I tell people the type of service we have in the season here, and they're just floored. We have service to at least 7 major hubs. And for an airport our size, that's pretty impressive stuff. So we're expecting things to continue to grow. Our fuel sales have been record numbers of sales, even pre-pandemic, we're busting those records. So things are going very well. We completed a taxiway project, full-length taxiway. We completed a rehabilitation of our fuel farm. We're embarking on some planning activities that will look at the geometry on the airfield, as well as an update to our master plan. And we have another small taxiway project that will, the construction will begin in the spring, but there'll be some environmental work done this fall. So things are jumping, positive so far here. I can't think of too many negatives other than the fact that we, like everybody else on the island, it's a lot of people to put in a short period of time. We did, during our fuel rehabilitation project, increase our capacity, because some of you may recall last year we had an issue with getting enough fuel. So we added another 20,000 gallon tank. We converted one from avgas to jet fuel. So that gives us increased capacity. We're working very closely with the steamship, and they're being very helpful in getting us the reservations we need. And I spoke to Liz the other day. We're going to be working on what we would call an IROP plan, or irregular operations, for stranded passengers and how we can accommodate them better. We kind of dropped the ball last summer on one of the overnights that was canceled, I think, or something. So, and I'll be glad to try to answer any questions you have, or yes, I try. I'm not as good as no.
Mary?
Thanks, Tom, for being here. One of my questions was going to be fuel capacity. So thank you for covering that. I think I was personally a little concerned about that. The other question is, how much of an impact is the JetBlue pullout of Newark?
It's not that significant, because we still have 3 a day on United to Newark. So, yes, it's a larger aircraft, but I think what we're seeing is, especially in the JetBlue area, they're decreasing frequency, but they're maximizing load factors. So they're putting enough bodies in the seat. And as we all know, the prices aren't getting any cheaper. So they're ensuring that their profit margins are still there. It's still very good service for us. I just flew the United down to Newark a couple of weeks ago, and it was good. So it's a little bit of a hit, but again, for us, we make it up in different ways, and they can reroute people through, their other services too that they have. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom. Matt Peel here. Quick question. Are we seeing, with the fuel price increase and everything, are we seeing any decrease in private traffic at all?
No, actually, that's where the fuel sales increase is coming from. The corporate side of the house, the price doesn't seem to deter them much. They're still coming. And again, a lot of that has to do with a number of families have either relocated to the island, or whether they've transitioned fully to using their second home as their primary. They're certainly using their second homes a lot more, it appears. So that's where we believe we're seeing a lot of the growth in the fuel sales. Yep.
Peter?
Hi, Tom. Peter Morrison here. It sounds to me like the fuel sales are emerging as a stable, growing, and sizable portion of profit. I'm just curious, what share of what share of the revenue do they constitute now? Are they up in a large percentage?
They're a high percentage, but I would not necessarily agree with you that they're fully stable. What we did a few years ago is we embarked on a little bit of a what I considered a revenue diversification program. And we, as you probably know, we're about the 3rd largest landholder on the island. So what we did is we began renting more land. That to me is a little more stable because it's an income across 12 months. So the fuel is a very significant portion of our revenues. But you know, we can't rely on it because again, it's very seasonal and it fluctuates significantly depending upon what the GDP is doing, but it's, you know, in this crazy world, the economics, I can't figure out anymore. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Matt?
Yeah, how's airport staffing doing as well? I know it's something we've talked on here kind of quite a bit about, especially restaurant and all that industry, but
yeah, the tenants, have their own challenges. We do just like everyone else. Our full-time staff, we're actually almost up to a full complement. We're still looking for a mechanic. But it was amazing. We just put out an advertisement nationwide and found a very strong candidate for a higher level operations position right on island here. So, we're having good success there. Our seasonals, we always need more. We normally hire about 30. We probably have 25, 22 maybe right now. So we can always use more seasonal. We have a good cadre that we tapped into from Puerto Rico, where they'll work Puerto Rico in the winter for Cape Air, and then in the summer they come up here. So that's been successful, but we're just like everyone else. We struggle to get the seasonal help.
Tom, I have one question about the little visitor information center right by the restaurant. Do you have anything to inform us about how that seems to be going, or any things that we should be aware of, that where there's room to strengthen that or make it work better?
Peter, I'd have to defer to Noah. I apologize, but I know Noah and David have talked about maybe running the video on the screen back there that you have. Is that right, Peter? There was a video or something you had.
Everything is, we're getting ramped up for this year, and there's, no issues except for the TV. It just needs to be upgraded to new hardware for the software that we use for that. But there haven't been any issues, and I've been there every few days right now resupplying, and we'll be getting somebody in there this weekend.
Yeah, we were pleased to hear. Thank you very much. We have a great staff coming back to help us.
Yes. Anybody else? Liz?
Morning, everyone. Good morning, Tom. Just wanted to check in to see, and we had spoken about this briefly in our phone conversation, but I'm assuming that we are still the second busiest airport in New England. Is that accurate, or is it just Massachusetts?
Just Massachusetts, not New England.
Okay. Just wondering about, and we'll talk about this further later on, but in terms of access, if, leaving the building open overnight, because I know before it had been shut down. But I just was curious about how that works, and is it as needed?
It will be for keeping it open after hours, but again, our staff will remain. And as I think I mentioned to you, what we have is what's called a family assistance plan. And Peter, I'm sure you're familiar with that. The airlines are required to have these plans. Airports are not. However, it's in everybody's best interest that we have one, especially with our location, because it's going to take a while for an airline to get here in the event of a disaster. So we're looking to modify that a little bit and just take a piece of it. It's a full-blown program where we set up rooms and we have intake and we have, all different types of things going on. So we're looking at how we can modify that a little bit and use some of those resources. And the airport does have staffing 24/7, but not in the terminal. So what we'll do is hold somebody over for the terminal and or bring somebody else in for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate the info and good luck this summer. And I will be in touch with you and Noah about the staffing.
Well, thank you very much. And I can't say how much I appreciate your assistance because they're a very big help. As you know, there's times in the summer when the queue line gets all the way down and into the baggage claim, and they're very helpful at managing that, and we appreciate it greatly. So
Well, we're looking forward to a great season there.
we had a challenge with police. We have that resolved. We also, I believe, are going to be having a seasonal police officer. And we've taken over the parking lot. So we have ground transportation, and we have Linda Trues, our full-time coordinator for that, and a seasonal person as well. So we should have enough to keep the flow and traffic moving outside as well as inside with your folks. So thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right.
More than welcome to stay on if otherwise you can take off.
I've got a meeting with my boss. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Take care.
Bye.
I know.
Okay. Moving on, we have the Visitor Services Coordinator report, and I'm happy to report that we have new staff coming aboard. I have 2 people already. A gentleman who's already been working for us for a couple weeks, and another gentleman who is actually going to be starting this week at the airport. He has had experience at an airport in California, so he's going to help back up Susan Tate when she gets back on island out at the airport. I'm going to see if I can get 1 or 2 other people to join us, but we are fully open at the main office, 9 to 5 every day. Still trying to kind of open up the other locations. Straight Wharf is open a few days a week right now, but by July we'll have it 7 days. And the airport will be open several days a week. I haven't figured out a full schedule for that yet, but somebody will be there at least on the weekends. Chantal and I also went to the police station last week, and we gave a little orientation to the new community service officers who are now, there are 40 of them, who are now patrolling downtown and the island. And they're all very eager to work this summer. And circling back to the office, I want to say that we've been busier, at least the last few weeks, than this time at the last couple years at this time. So things are definitely picking up. And also I wanted to mention that our children's beach season kicks off this weekend, starting Saturday on the bandstand at 10 o'clock in the morning with the Nan Puppets. And then the Sunday night concert series starts Sunday with the Foggy Roots at 6 p.m. So it's going to be a great summer there, and we'll be there through about mid-August. So, and that's all I have at this point. Any questions? Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for coming. And do I have a motion to, actually, Chantal, I wanted to send back to you about committee terms.
We do have some terms that are expiring at the end of June. That would be Josh Gray, Sarah Boyce, and Sharon Quigley. So we just have to connect with them a bit, but we will be hopefully looking to fill those 3 seats. So stay tuned on that.
Okay. And the town manager makes those appointments. So in the next term, we'll see in the next term as to who's coming back. Also, I wanted to check to see if anybody wanted to hold a meeting in the summer, we traditionally skip July and August. So if we have our next meeting in September, is that something that everybody is happy with?
Can I just add something? I think we've historically never met in July and August, which I understand why. But I'm curious if there's information about the stranded passenger program that everyone's been working on, then I think it might be appropriate to call a meeting if people need help or how we're going to manage that. Because by September, it might not be an issue.
Liz?
I think that's a great idea. In fact, I haven't been able to devote as much time as I had before, but I'm still putting the pieces together, and Sharon's involved as well. So if something actually materializes, I think that's a great idea. So we could have maybe a quick meeting, and so, excuse me, just so we can spread the word about what's happening. And I can certainly let you guys know if, in advance.
So do you want to
And
set
something.
like a specific date, or is this something that you want to do as on the fly?
On the fly.
Okay, just so you know, because of municipal rules with public meetings, I do need a 48-hour business day lead time so I can post the agenda. So it's got to be something, it's got to be a 3-day minimum.
Not a problem.
Okay,
Not a
all
problem.
right, so we'll leave it up in the air like that.
Yeah, I would suggest the most important thing is that if there is a planning process underway, we want to be able to be responsive in our official role. So if something comes up, we can hold a meeting with 3, 4, 5 days notice and say, we just want to take this up for 10 minutes and either say, yes, we're in favor, or no, we're not. That's kind of the minimum, so the ball can keep rolling.
I think that's appropriate. Liz has been working so hard on it with some other people that let's just keep this moving forward. So we're not in November saying, where did all that hard work go?
Okay, so just if anything comes up, just we'll get going on posting a meeting.
Sounds good.
Okay,
I have another silly request. Tom went through the list of destination airports inbound and the airlines. Do we have a printed list of that? I mean, if we have, I haven't seen it, and that's probably just my bad for not looking.
I found something through one of the morning emails a few weeks ago, from either Daybreak or The Current, that was a list that Fisher Real Estate had put together. And it's very comprehensive. It shows
Okay.
where they're leaving from and where they're going to. So it's about 12. Well, with New York, it's like 15 locations. So I can forward this to you guys to look at if you want.
That would be awesome, because we might even need that, when people either miss boats or whatever, they're for connecting flights up in Boston. That would be very helpful for Highline to have
Yeah.
that information.
Okay, I'll send this out to you guys today.
All right, thanks, David.
Okay. Any other questions or anything? Okay, so aside from the pop-up stranded passengers meeting, I think we should set a date for September. The second Tuesday in September is traditionally our meeting time, so I don't have a calendar.
That would be the 13th.
13th? Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so we'll meet on September 13th, barring any stranded passenger pop-up meeting. And thank you all for coming. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn and thank Chantal for her wonderful success, and thank you for being on our first meeting. We've all worked with you on other committees, so I think we're pretty excited. Thanks.
Thank you also.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
I'll
And
third it.
okay, thank you everybody for coming this morning. And we'll have a great summer, and we'll see you in September or even sooner. So have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.